Hello everyone, good afternoon. I hope I'm audible to you. Very good, very good. So, how are you all? Good? Good. Yeah, good afternoon, Avinav. How are you? All right? Any doubt? If you have, you can go, you can ask.
So,
Yeah.
Before in preamble, there was four objectives, right? So sovereign, socialist, democratic, and republic. Then after 42nd amendment, secular is added.
No,
So why?
no. After, in the 42nd Amendment, four word was added to the preamble. The 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act added socialism, secular, right, integrity, and one word and. This four word was added to the Constitution.
Yes.
Am I making
So, sir,
sense?
before, yes, sir. So, sir, before it was a sovereign,
Yeah.
socialist, democratic, and republic.
On January 26, 1950, India was declared as a, sovereign, democratic republic. Even the objective resolution, declared India as a sovereign democratic republic, right?
Yes, sir. So, sir, after they added secular, right? So, why they added secular in middle? Means why they didn't add in first or at last after republic?
So, if you look at the word socialism and secularism and this integrity and this four words was added by the 42nd Amendment Act, right? Look at the nature of the state. It was sovereign, democratic, and republic. Few more word was added. Why it was added? After 16 years of the independence, right? 16, not only 16, 19, approximately 19 years of independence, and after 16 years of the republic, right? After 16 years of republic. Now look into, the Indira Gandhi government. You have to go to little deep. It was the Indira Gandhi government, right? Right? And it was emergency. Now look at what happened. Have you heard about Swatantrata Party? Swatantrata Party, right? Jan Sangh. Swatantrata Party was different from Jan Sangh. There was a Ram Rajya Party, right? There was a Hindu Mahasabha, right? There was a rise of the Jan Sangh, and there was a rise of Swatantrata Party, and it was threatened. It was threatened, the secular fabric of India as a nation. Now look at emergency. Emergency, was ruled by the Congress party, but it was supported by the left party. And if you look at the left party of India or anywhere in the world, left party supports socialism. Left party supports secularism. Right? So therefore, left party, made some pressure on Indira Gandhi government to add these two words, socialism and secularism, to the preamble, right? During this, emergency, integrity was also under challenge. So this word was also added. And that challenge was posed by this right-wing party in India, the Hindu Mahasabha, Swatantrata Party, Ram Rajya Parishad, Jan Sangh. Right? Later on, all party dissolved and Jan Sangh turned into as a Bharatiya Janata Party in 1980. So this was, a particular context in which these 2 words, 3 words, 4 words were added to the constitution. But it does not mean that the Indian freedom is, the leaders of the freedom movement did not aspire for secular India, right, or the socialist India. Am I making sense to you, everyone?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So it was actually, special circumstances that pressed the government to add these words in the preamble. Yeah. Any more question?
Yes, sir. Sir, you tell the background why these 4 words were added, but I want to know that why secular is added in mid of that socialist, sovereign socialist.
तो
Then
that is arrangement. See, वो तो मिड ऐसा है कि सोवरेन सोशलिस्ट सेकुलर डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक, ये तो बिल्कुल ये दिखा है ना. अब ये नहीं, सेकुलर वर्ड पहले नहीं आ सकता. इट विल लुक लाइक ऑड. जब हम कोई कुछ अरेंज करते हैं, कोई सेंटेंस बनाते हैं, राइट, तो हम देखते नहीं कौन सा वर्ड कहां पे फिट होना है. Right?
Nothing, it is a design, we can say. It is an arrangement.
Exactly, it was a design of the word framing the sentence. Nothing special ki, socialism came before secularism. It is not like that.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Right? India is as much as socialist, as much as it's secular, it is democratic, as much as it's sovereign, as much as it is republic. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, any more question? Good. Yeah,
No, sir.
Swati.
Sir, you gave us assignments, sir, on the first day. Like the questions, the previous year questions and the history of the constitution. Should we write it and send it to you, sir? The history of constitution.
Come again.
So you gave us assignments, right, sir, on the first day?
Yeah, I have given you assignment that historical background of the India's constitution.
Yeah, should we write it and send to you, sir?
You just make some summary of from that chapter, historical background from Lakshmikant.
Okay.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir,
in your notebook.
Yeah.
And when you are ready, then I will discuss this, historical development, right? For whether it is a regulating act or whether it is a, council act, whether it is a government act, right? So I'll take only one day and briefly I will discuss the all historical development, all act passed by the British government and what was the impact on India, right?
Okay.
So first you finish it. And when you finish it, then let me know. Fine. I think she's talking about segregation. Segregation of what? Segregation of questions. Do you want? I'll give you few questions on historical background. If you, I'll give you. Don't worry. So, for example, I'll give you a question on, historical background. I had already given you questions on the making of India's constitution. If you want few more, I'll give you few more. And preamble, I'm giving you questions. Right? So on each chapter, I'll give you a question. You have to answer. Yeah, Swati, did I make sense? I responded simultaneously two sets of question, one asked by you and other asked by Shivani. Right, so once you complete the chapter, and then I'll take a test on historical background whenever you are ready. Whenever you
So
are
it
ready.
is subjective or objective?
Both.
Okay.
Subjective and objective both. Right, so first you prepare that chapter by your own self and let me know. मुझे fix कर दूं मैं? Should I fix the date? Otherwise you will not do it. You won't do it. Fix by the next Friday. Right? So next to next Monday, I will discuss the historical background, and in that week only, I'll conduct a test on historical background of India's constitution. So those who have done, good, revise it. Those who have not done yet, do it. I'm giving you one week, this week, right? The next week, exactly. On the next Monday, what would be the date? Let me check. So this Monday will be 5th one, and next Monday would be, no, this Monday would be 5th one. No, is it? This Monday would be the 5th one. On 12th of December, I will talk about, yeah. On 12th of December, I will talk about historical background, and your test will be conducted on 17th in that week also only. So you'll get few more days to prepare for your own self. When I'll discuss historical background of the India's constitution, I'll give you few subjective questions to practice. And then I'll conduct your test on 17th of, that is Saturday. You won't have class, but I'll send you the question paper. You sit at home, solve it, and then send it back to me. Is it fine for everyone? I hope it is fine. You have flexible time, ample of time, right? Yeah. And meanwhile, we will proceed with the polity. Yeah. Okay. So what we discussed yesterday, can you talk about? What we discussed yesterday, can you talk about?
So we discussed about republic and yeah.
Go ahead. Shivani, you go ahead.
So we talked about republic and objective of preambles. That we discussed in detail justice. What is justice? So you told us that justice is not there is not a fixed definition about justice. There is a justice very depends on situation. That it is a subjective concept you told, and justice depends on individual to individual. And you also told about Aristotle and Rawls' idea. John Rawls' idea. So, according to Aristotle, he told that justice is that something distribution unequally, and John Rawls told that justice is a distribution something equally, but seeing that who is more hungry or who is more needy.
So
and you also told about social justice, yeah, and corrective justice. So corrective justice is involuntary act, and
corrective justice to rectify the wrong done in the past.
Yeah.
Try to understand. Corrective justice, devoted to rectify the wrong done in the past. How wrong done in the past? Then I talked about how human action is based on voluntary and involuntary. Yeah, very good, very good. Go ahead, go ahead.
We also talked about social justice. So social justice is that justice over wrongs, means what wrongs were there in past, to rectify that wrongs there is some laws.
Yeah, very good.
This is called social justice.
Yeah. Example दे दो. Give me example.
For example, fundamental rights, DPSPs, and there is some
Untouchability, my dear. Untouchability is something socially wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, and reservations for backward classes.
Yeah. I talked about, for example, untouchability, patriarchy, right? Discrimination of various kinds. These are the, social wrong, right? So social justice is to rectify or correct the social wrong. And how we ensure social justice, right? How to do it?
Yes. So rectify this, there is some articles, yeah, through constitution.
Through protective measures. Protective measures. It is also called affirmative action. Affirmative action. Very good. Right. So what is the affirmative action taken into the Indian Constitution? Yeah, Swati, can you add up? Very good. Very good. Discussion is going, well, yeah.
So like that protective measures would be certain laws or welfare schemes, commissions.
Yeah, very good. Constitutional safeguard.
Yeah, constitutional protection.
Yeah, safeguards. Then second, I told you the welfare schemes. Then third, I told you what? Representation. Right? Through reservation. Then law in order to protect communities. Fifth,
commissions
to inquire, the status of the particular social group and how does, social justice can be ensured in order to, rectify those social wrongs. Yeah? Did I make sense in the last class? The social justice, the concept, and you can write in your own language if you get it. Right? Okay. Now you got the idea. Now, what is economic justice? When you see economic justice, then what is economic justice? Again here, to redistribute economic resources. To redistribute economic resources. For example, jobs, seats in educational institution. Employment creation. Employment creation. To minimize economic inequality. Minimize economic inequalities, right? It means to reduce economic divide, to minimize the gap between haves and haves not, to minimize the gap between rich and poor. It means not allow any single individual to concentrate wealth in their hand. Am I making sense? If you look at the DPSP, it talks about few economic justice. For example, it talks about equal pay for equal work. It talks about equal pay for equal work, isn't it? Then DPSP also talks about, the welfare of the workers, right? So economic justice refers to the state intervention to redistribute the economic resources. For example, land reform. What was land reform intended to in independent India? What was the land reform was intended to in independent India? It was intended to economic justice. Yeah, you're right, Avinav. So now Avinav has given example. Now, like Indian women cricket team have to get equal salary like man for the equal work. Am I making sense? The how states shall ensure the economic justice, right? It will redistribute. For example, to give PDS, economic ration, to the poor, it is the economic justice. To provide some employment, jobs, to create jobs, to ensure jobs through reservation to the vulnerable community, that is economic justice, because that will increase the income. नहीं, job to income बढ़ाता ना आपका. That is economic justice. You got the idea? Economic justice. Did I make the sense what economic justice stands for? Economic justice stands for for distributive justice, basically. Right? Distributive justice. Got the idea? Making sense? Okay. Now come to the political justice. Are you writing now? Are you writing few points? Just I'm trying to, strengthen your idea, clear your idea. I'm just trying to, shape your basics. These are the basics that you should know, that what economic justice stands for, right? And I told you two things, right? Third thing, I'll come here. Now, what is political justice? Political justice, yani, to provide opportunity. Opportunity to all to elect and to be elected. To be elected in turn in order to govern the country. Right? For example, universal adult franchise. This was political justice. For example, a reservation for SCs, STs in the parliament. मतलब राज्यसभा में तो नहीं है, लोकसभा. In the Lok Sabha, right? In state legislature, and in local government. At all three layers of government, reservation for SC/ST is secured as per their population. Women reservation, Article 243D secures 1/3 seats for women in the local government. Nahin. It means the state has provided to be elected. To elect आसान है, to be elected बड़ा difficult है. Right? Now, if you look at Article 243D, provides 1/3 seats reserved for women in the local government. Right? Later, various states provided 50% reservation to women, in the local government. Right? But however, if you look at the women demand for 33% reservation in the state assembly and parliament are yet pending. That has not been passed by the parliament. Am I making sense? Yeah. However, 33% women reservation bill, women reservation issue is pending in the parliament. Now, political justice means to provide each community to participate, right? To elect and to be elected in turn. That is political justice. To provide an opportunity so that they can come and participate in political process. Let me tell you, अगर मैं ये क्लास ऐसे ही पढ़ाता रहूं, आपसे कभी पूछूं ना आपका हाल, आपकी बातें, आपको अच्छा लगेगा? Will you find comfortable when I teach you monotonously and I don't ask you anything? Your participation in the process is very important, so that you should feel very much in the class, right? Into the class, right? Rather than outside of the class. Nahin? Right? So your participation, and when you feel your participation, you'll get opportunity to participate in the class. You'll feel, yes, this is my class, right? This is my class. This is my classmate, and he's my teacher. Otherwise, you would be simply audience, isn't it? And somehow will feel excluded from the process. Yeah. So, did you get the idea? Social, economic, and political justice. Did you get the idea of justice? Yeah. Let me give you a question. I never given question on this, but examine the word justice, economic, नहीं पहले सोशल है ना, या सोशल economic and political. Examine the word justice, social, economic and political in the preamble of India's constitution. Explain or elucidate its significance. This is the question. There are two questions. ये अलग question है और ये अलग question है. There are two questions, and you should write answer in two equal part. है ना? आधा and word is 200. 200 words for your answer. 100 word you should devote to the first part. A second, and 100 words you should talk about the significance of these words, economic, social and political, in India's constitution preamble. I never given such question to my students. They are the first. Right? You know, this phrase, justice, social, economic and political, has been borrowed from the Russian constitution. The phrase, no, justice, social, economic and political has been borrowed from the USSR constitution, from the constitution of the USSR. Yeah, did I make the sense? Yeah, should I move to the next word? This is a very, very important chapter, right? Which the preamble. Preamble छोटा है, समझो मत कि ये बहुत आसान है. Preamble को समझने में पूरी जिंदगी लग जाती है, and शायद उसके बाद भी हम preamble को ठीक तरह से समझ नहीं पाते हैं. We spend the entire life to understand, in order to understand preamble. Still we lack in getting the true sense of preamble. Swati, right? It is small but very, meaningful, right? And subject to, open debate. What does it mean? Its roots lies in the India's freedom struggle and the vision of freedom fighters and makers of modern India. Okay. Now, the next word is liberty. Right? The next word is liberty. Right? And liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. That is a liberty we have. right? Liberty of 5 things: thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What do you mean by the word liberty? What is liberty? That is an important question.
So it is people's capacity to utilize their freedom.
Power to act as one please, Avinav has asked. Avinav has said, power to act as one please. Shivani, you talked about the capacity of individual to act, for his own development. Swati talked about freedom. Now, see, again, the 3 meaning has come immediately, right? One is freedom. One is, power to act, or, power to act as one pleases. And third, you talked about ability to, what did you say? I forgot. Ability to, or capacity to?
Capacity to utilize one's freedom or individual's freedom.
Capacity to utilize one's freedom. Right? The 3 different definition you have proposed. Freedom without any other commitment. What do you mean by freedom without any other commitment? I didn't get. Freedom means, freedom without any obligation that you are talking about. No one decide your decisions. Yes. It means, the self-judge. The self-judge in your action. I mean, is it that you want to say liberty can be positive or negative? We'll come to it, Shivani. Just little wait. What is your background? Have you done political science? No, it's all fine. It's all fine. That you are characterizing the liberty positive and negative. We'll talk about it. BSc, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Now, you 3 people, defined liberty in a different way. One said, capacity to utilize one's freedom. Right? Someone said power to act as one pleases. That means self-judge in your action. That is equity. ऐसा मतलब नहीं कि power to act pleases means if you want to someone slap, you slap. Is it liberty for you, Avinav? Power to act as one pleases. If of course, right? Use your reason while you act. When you exercise your freedom. Right? Now, Swati has just said this is a freedom. All right. I don't want to complicate the issue. I want to just, initiate the debate on it. Now, if you look at the word liberty, right? Basically, synonymously, it is used as a freedom, but it is not. It is used as a freedom, but it is not. There is some difference. The word liberty is a very modern concept, right? And it is a core value of liberalism. Have you heard about John Locke? John Locke. Try to understand. John Locke was father of liberalism. John Locke was a 17th century philosopher. Philosopher from Britain. He was an English philosopher, right? On liberty, it was not by the John Locke, it was J.S. Mill, Avinav. His book was, the Two Treatises of Government. Two Treatises of Civil Government. आपने पूछा तो मैं बता दिया, अदरवाइज बताने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Two Treatises of Civil Government, where he talks about, and what he talks about, look at how this is a modern concept. If you see the, modern age, if you look at the modern age and the medieval age, have you heard about the word medieval and modern? Yeah, medieval, Swati, medieval age and modern. What is the difference between medieval and modern? Now, in medieval age, everything was God. There was a divine right theory. In medieval age, there was a divine right theory. And, the king was representative of God. And he had all power, and the people who had no power, the Raja and Praja, right? The king and their subject. King had all power, and it was an unequal society because it was a feudal society. The medieval age, it was a feudal society. There was an inequality. Inequality was a major characteristics of the medieval age, where we thought that king is a god. There is a king and their subject, and they thought that the God has made us and to everyone. Now look at the John Locke, what he said, nature has made everyone. Nature has made man equal and free. What philosophy he gave. The nature has made man equal and free. Right? Nature has also given region. Nature has also given region to each man. To exercise their freedom. Exercise their freedom. Therefore, each man can exercise their freedom, but they cannot harm the similar freedom of the other. Right? Right. Since the man has a region, right? Since man has a rationality, and therefore man was free to exercise their liberty. Am I making sense? What was the John Locke? John Locke was a philosopher of the modern. He was a first philosopher of enlightenment. Have you heard of the word enlightenment? The enlightenment appealed you to exercise your region, exercise your rationality. Don't blindly believe something. Right? So look at the medieval age when they talked about divine right theory. It was a feudal society based on inequality, and there was no freedom. There was a subject and their king. Right? Now, what modernity brought? Modernity brought equality and liberty. And their roots lies in the John Locke philosophy. And he said, the nature has made each one equal, and each one has equal liberty. An individual is rational, and therefore his action should not be dictated by either society or family or the state. No. Are you getting my sense? Since individual is a rational, he has a region, and therefore he is the best judge for his own action. Yes, Swati, Avinav? Right? So nature has made, so liberty is a modern concept. Right? Not freedom. Freedom is a very old concept. Freedom was, the word freedom was already there in the Greek philosophy. The word liberty was not there. Liberty is a modern concept talked by John Locke. Freedom with constraint. Yeah, this was the concept that was available. Freedom, liberty means I'm just coming to the liberty. Liberty, yeah. So have you written this idea? The nature has made man equal and free. Nature has also given region to each man to exercise their freedom, right? Since man is rational, right, and therefore, he is the best judge. Of his own interest, right? His own interest. Each person or each man, because he talked about man, so I'm talking about man. But we have moved more ahead. Now each person are equal, right? Each person has equal liberty. Equal liberty, right? It means no one has more than other. No one has more than other. Each person has equal liberty. It means equal liberty. It means no one has more than other. Right? It means I have same liberty as Swati you have, and Shivani you have, and Abhinav you all have. Right? Got the idea? Liberty. Now, no one has right to intervene in others' liberty. Liberty does not mean license. Liberty does not mean license. Right? It means no one has. It means no one has right to intervene in others' liberty. Right? Everyone should exercise their liberty, but no one should harm the others' liberty. Right? So I have liberty to sing or to hear music, but I should not raise the volume of music system in such a manner that your neighbor get irritated, and you claim that, oh, this is my music system, I can play it as I wish. That is not liberty. Liberty always has restraint in itself. Yeah, liberty has always restraint in itself. Right? And since man is individual, no other individual should dictate, the man or the individual action. For example, your society will say that you marry in your own community, Swati. You marry your own community in your own community, Shivani. The society has no such right to talk about your own interest. Liberal believes in individual liberty. Right? Liberty is a core idea of liberalism. Right? And liberalism believes that the individual is best judge to understand their own interest. Right? So neither your family nor your society and neither a state will say you to whom you should marry. You should be the best judge to decide to whom I should marry, when I should go for study, right? After the maturity. Let me tell you, after the maturity, a child has no such liberty. कि मैं स्कूल नहीं जाऊंगा जी. Does it happen? The child starts weeping. No, I don't want to go to school. Right? I don't want to go. Right? I don't want to go. I want to go to play somewhere. No, child has no such liberty. The only mature person who had achieved such region and rationality. Let me tell you, the philosopher also asks about the only such person. Sometimes we also think that we are quite enough mature to take some decision. It happens sometimes, right? Regarding the marriage or regarding some action, right? And we deny, right? By age we becomes mature, but not by the rationality region. It happens, right? Right? But the reality, sometimes adult also be on the path of their society. Yeah, it is true. It is true. We all are the part of the society. And it happens, we try to, emphasize our own position on other individual. For example, our sister. जब हमारी sister सुनाती है, right? When our sisters tells us, when our sister tells us about her likeness, she's liking to someone, we try to conscious her. Oh, beta, dekhna, yeah, just be aware about yourself, that boy, right? Don't go for married to that boy, guys. Right? We make aware, but sometimes we try to enforce our own decision to individual. That does happen.
And sir, sometimes it happens that if someone is searching very good person, there is love marriage. So it is in the eye of society, it is very wrong. And they, if and by arranged marriage, they are getting marriage with an alcoholic person, it is good.
You know,
And the girl
sometimes
is,
happens, you know, society, you know, arranged marriage turns into ugly, right? Often, but it's not that all time love marriage it turns not in ugly, right? 1 minute, just give me 1 second. Hello, yes, I had very urgent call, right? So I had to pick. Yeah. So, yeah. So look at, you know, it's not that always, you know, the love marriage turns into reality, good reality, Shivani. Right? There are advantages and disadvantages from the both. But yes, when you are enough mature, you are already a studied person, right? You are in masters. After that, you can take the decision, right? Because you are enough and you must have economic independency. Let me tell you, Swati and Avinam, all, right? And you should treat and to be treated equally. You should treat and to be treated equally, right? Especially for male, because the male of our society, you know, takes something privileges as per granted. खाना बनाएगा तो कौन बनाएगी, राइट? वही बनाएगी, है ना? ये घर में है तो बहन बनाएगी, right? Even our writers writes like मम्मी का रोटी गोल गोल, पापा का पैसा गोल गोल. Huh? Does it happen? Right? Anyway, now 2-3 lines, 1-2-3 line I will write, and then we'll come to the debate in the next class. Liberty does not mean license. It means no one has right to intervene in others' liberty, right? Yeah. It is available. It is available to everyone equally, right? It is available to everyone equally, right? Now one more para, since, you know, individual is rational and knows best interest, knows his or her best interest, knows his or her best interest, right? Therefore, right, he should be free. He should be free to take his or her own decision regarding on decision, right? Neither society nor state impose restrictions on individual. That is a classical meaning of liberty I have introduced you. The classical idea of liberty. In the next class, I will talk about how liberty, you know, took the another shape. Did you get the idea, the meaning of liberty? Little bit. Shivani, Shwati. Yeah. So I'll stop here, and on Monday I'll initiate the debate. It is very understand to know this word. This word is under threat in this country today, and it was also under threat in decades ago, right? And it will be under threat in, after a decade later. There are people, there are society who are, threatening the individual liberty, right? There are so many nuances in Indian society due to threat to the liberty, right? We'll talk about how it is very important for individual, their life, their development, and for the society itself, for the state itself, in the next class, right? For the time being, have a good weekend. Shivani, Swati, Avinav, everyone, right? And see you on Monday. We'll resume the class from here only.